Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
The ever so lovely and beautiful Erin MacNeil joining us here again. She's the founder and CEO of the Spa Business Coach. And that's exactly what she is and does. Based out of Toronto, Canada, but she is worldwide and ready to get back on track for this upcoming fall winter season because like I just said, 17 weeks till the holidays. It's till Christmas. Exactly. So it's now the time to prepare all that marketing for all these spas and aesthetic practice owners. Listen up. She joins us here again today to chat with us about the concept of marketing and what we should be doing now at the end of the summer. Well, I guess should say fall season, right?
Yeah, it is like I don't know what day it actually is that is
8/26.
considered
I'm like, I know that today.
that's considered
Fall.
fall. Like when does it get? I think
I
it's in
think Labor
September,
Day. It's probably the end of
right?
September, but I think Labor Day. Yeah.
I I'm with you, right? It's like once kids go back to school, it's fall.
It's so true.
So so yeah, it's a really good time now that summer's wrapped up. I would say wrapped up for all intents purpose, even if you are experiencing some nice weather. Once kids go back to school, as a business owner in the beauty business, med spa, aesthetic practice, we want to be thinking about how are we positioning ourselves for a brand new season of marketing. And so I wanted to kind of focus in on some things that you
Sure.
could be looking in or leveraging on your marketing going into the fall. So obviously back to school and post summer rejuvenation is a big one, especially for, if your aesthetic practice was a little bit slow over the summer, you really want to highlight that it is post summer rejuvenation season, meaning we need to prep your skin as we wind down from the summer, and we need to be prepping that skin going into the fall. It's a brand new season, which does require different product and different treatment.
Oh, and take a look at this as I could see it, even though I have my makeup on today. But look, how bad. Even though I keep my face out of the sun, but look, see that brown spot coming back there?
Mm,
Oh, yeah. The sun gets it. That melasma, those brown spots. And this is the time to say bye-bye because I'm going to get rid of them come fall, right? I got to go visit my local spa and get that stuff lasered, peeled, all those beautiful things. And there's many women like me out there who get the brown spots, who get the freckles, who their face is drier in the summer and they don't feel as good. Yeah, the fake tan. Okay. And then you still get some tan just by even the sunblock driving in the
yeah,
car. And I just want to get rid of this now. I want to exfoliate.
absolutely.
Hmm.
100%. And so if you own a beauty business or a med spa or aesthetic practice, your clients are just like Jill, right? They're thinking just like you are. I'm thinking the same thing as well, right? I'm like close up in the mirror going, oh, okay. I can notice on my neck because what
Yep.
I've noticed as well, especially on the driving side, is some freckles popping up on my
Yep.
neck as well. And
Hmm.
so if we're thinking it, then your clients are thinking it. So you want to be ready and primed to have something available for them to take advantage of because those are problems that they want solved sooner rather than later. So have that ready to go in
Yep.
terms of really leaning into those pain points at the end of summer. And don't wait for the client to ask you. If you're putting out those promotions, you want to take advantage of weekly marketing. Okay. I think I said this before is like, don't send one email a month. You want to send something every single week, stay top of mind to one, agitate your audience a little bit, remind them of some pain points that they have that you solve, but also when you do that, you are going to be on the top of their mind the moment that they realize that, oh, geez, I need to go in and get my skin fixed, or I need to, take care of those red spots, brown spots, that they're going to think of you because they've been receiving your marketing material.
So true. Absolutely. And by the way, how do we contact you? We didn't even establish that. I'm
Oh,
so sorry.
that's okay. So we are on all of the socials at the Spa Business Coach on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube. And our website is thespabusinesscoach.com. Try to keep it very simple. So we use the same name on all platforms. That way you can find us very easily.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here. So let's get started. So we're talking the whole marketing aspect. Again, like you mentioned, this is the season of winding down, but it's now time to ramp up your spa, your practice. Tell us how we start. What should we be doing?
Well, we want to look at what are the categories of business that you have, right? Maybe you're doing just facials, or maybe you're doing facials and nails and massage. Maybe you have
Yep.
lasers and you have injectables. And so you want to think about the seasonal offers for
Okay.
each category that you can have And you want to focus in on one at a time. You don't just want to say, hey guys, here are the 15 things that we have on sale. You
Yeah.
really want to have your audience's attention focused on one category at a time.
Okay.
That way, they know what they should be doing to solve each kind of problem that they have. My biggest thing is when you're putting that out, track and measure your marketing and the response to your marketing so that you know where you have warm leads and where you have hot leads. That way you can retarget market back out to those people who maybe already clicked open an email, but they didn't book in, or they clicked something, but they haven't followed through all the way, that you want to reach back out to those people. So when you are marketing, you must be measuring and tracking to know if it was successful or not.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Well,
And so, yeah, I mean, just uh, seasonal offers and promotions, right? Obviously, you could ramp up on your social media. When you think about a lot of people, not that they take a complete break from social media over the summer, but they're using it typically less, myself included. When I look at how inactive I've been in comparison to other months when it's not summertime.
ditto.
So take advantage of that. Ramp up your social media because people are starting to get back into their routines, which means they're going to go back to their desk or they're going to have a lunch break at the same time
Hmm.
and they're going to be checking their phone. They're going to be checking their email. So plan for it. Things that tips that we give to our clients are look at the insights, whether that's through your email marketing or your social media marketing, and look at the insights. When are people engaging with your content? That's when you want to post. That's when you want to kind of get them when they're already giving you their attention. So there are ways that you can ramp up your social media and ramp up your marketing because people are now back into their routine and they will be looking and maybe they will be much more active and engaging.
Got it. Yeah, think about I'm just thinking it's back to school time, back to work time. A lot of parents stay home or a lot of teachers go back to work and they get up, their morning routine comes back to that cup of coffee. They're checking their social media before they go to work. Yes, it's like I think a lot of us have been I've been down on social media myself too, but it's the summer, does that. But now I feel like I can't wait till the kids go back to school. I have my space in the morning. I have my time to start thinking about me and what I want to do.
Yeah, exactly. And so take advantage of that. Check out your insights. So on social media, you can see it in the insight section. See when are people engaging with your content? When do they
Hmm.
really go online? And that's when you want to be posting because you're going to capture their attention more. Like you said, if they're in their morning routine and it's part of, they want to kind of start their day and see what's happening and what's available for them, that's when you want to do it and get primed and ready. One of the other things that we do in our practice is when we email market, we really try to think about as well when is going to be an optimal time for our ideal client to be opening an email. And for us, since we work with a lot of beauty business owners who are young
True.
moms or young parents, we know that a Thursday night at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock when the kids have gone to bed, you're on your phone scrolling. So that's when we send our emails or we send it on
Yeah.
a Saturday morning at 10 a.m. because the kids are usually, they've all been fed and kind of
Yeah.
doing their activities. And so you want to look at what is the routine or kind of the lifestyle of my ideal client, and then you can plan your marketing around it. The beautiful thing is you can pre-program everything to auto send at a particular time. So take advantage of those things as well. Don't just send
Yep.
out Monday at 9 a.m. because
Okay.
everyone else sends out an email then, because yours will get lost in the shuffle.
Well, can I ask you a quick question about that since
Yes.
you are the marketing expert in a sense? And there's all these different social media platforms. You mentioned you could schedule things in advance, right? Is there an app that can help you schedule it for like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok all at once, or no? We have to go to each
Oh, all at once.
individual thing.
Yeah, usually they are separated,
Okay.
which is a bit of a bummer. And for us, we still do it old school. We actually send it out. So we have our social media manager who actually jumps on and sends it
Got it.
because the algorithm does pick up if it is a post that is done by a non-human. So if it's a
What?
pre-scheduled post, yes, it is advanced enough that it will recognize if it's not a human, meaning it's coming through a third party app that's like a scheduling app. And not to say that it hurts your content, but the algorithm certainly favors when human beings are interacting and engaging. So if you've noticed that engagement's gone down, views have gone down, and people just in general are not getting eyeballs on your social media, you may want to reconsider how you're actually posting. So it's one of of those things where maybe you
Interesting.
can split test it, see, well, what if I just post the ones on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I
Yeah.
can preset the Thursday through Sunday. So test it. What we found was we actually get more engagement and more views when we don't use a scheduling app.
Good to know. Thank you so much for
I
that.
know, right?
Wow.
Because
Wow.
that's the whole point. They want you to be stuck on the
Yeah.
platform, right? And so, with that said, knowing that algorithms, whether you're on Facebook or TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, the thing is, they really, when you're using that as a tool to market, you want to think about what does this platform also favor? Not just what do my clients want, because you want your
Yeah.
content to be pushed out by the algorithm.
True.
And so if you're just posting faceless photos or they're like Canva templates and they're not really interactive and you're not doing videos, chances are that they're not reaching many people. So you really want to focus in on what does the platform like to push forward? They like original
Mhm.
content. They like reels. They
I
like
was going to say, isn't it true you
voices
get
and
more
faces.
posts from reels than, oh, my camera fell, from pictures? Like just by
Yes.
posting, there's, I don't know what algorithm it is, but that's what I was told. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah. So if you are just posting like static photos, it's not going to get pushed out as much as if you were doing a video.
Okay.
Because the whole idea, and you want to think about this as like, I always think of competing companies, right? You think about Coke and Pepsi, right? It's like, how can I one up the other company? And if you look at TikTok and Instagram, these are two very different companies. They're not owned by the same people. And therefore, what Instagram is trying to do is get people to be on that platform longer. So if you're creating content that doesn't keep the viewer on very long, it won't get pushed into the algorithm. This is how things
Right.
go viral, right? It's like if lots of people start to engage and they replay it and replay it and replay it, the algorithm will recognize that and then push it to more people.
It's
So you really
amazing.
want yeah, so if you do have a social media manager and they don't know these things, you're paying someone to actually do your post, to manage the post, to understand how to utilize the platform, how to get more views, how to be more engaging. You really need to do your homework on what is shifting and changing with that particular platform. And you want to create content that one, serves your audience, but two, serves the platform because then the platform favors you as a good vendor customer and will push your stuff out to more people.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
it's
Wow.
and here's the other thing, it's changing all the time. And so
Hmm.
therefore, if you're posting something or you have a couple different accounts, you could actually see that they split test all the time. So I think what we learned last week, because we take courses all the time for marketing, we learned that there are 1,000 versions of Facebook out being tested right now. So the version you have might not be the identical version I have. So it's very, very interesting. And they're constantly testing, which is really interesting when you think
Yeah.
about it from a business perspective. Because imagine smaller businesses took more risks to split test things to see what truly works. Going back to my point around measuring and tracking your results so you can figure out what works best so you get more of what you want and less of what you don't want.
Awesome. Thank you for telling us all this. Now, you know all these, obviously, now, but is your job, are you doing the social media posts? Are you doing the marketing or are you is it your team that does? Just curious, do you physically do this?
So everything that goes out to the audience comes over my desk. So
Got it.
I do a lot of the concepts with the social
Good.
media manager. And here's a mistake that people make is they hire a social media manager or someone in any position and then they just go, "Okay, you're the social media manager. I'm going to leave it for you to just sort out on your own because now it's off my plate." That's a mistake. You want the social media manager to be speaking on your behalf, which means having your voice,
Yeah.
understanding what is important that is, maybe a revenue goal or a new client goal or a certain amount of packages that you want to sell so that when you come together to create content, they really understand what are the benchmarks of success to the business and that they're not just putting out static posts around like, "Hey, did you know about this treatment?" That they're really focused in and targeted. So don't just hand everything over. You
Okay.
really want to train that social media
Okay.
manager to understand your voice, understand your business, and most importantly, understand the intention behind the post, which would match
Okay.
and support your goals.
Got it. Well, thank you for reminding
Yeah.
me and everyone here. We just have to remind you how to get in touch with her. If you are tuning in, the spabusinesscoach.com. And she's joining us here today live, Erin MacNeil. She's from Canada and Toronto, but she has clients all over the world. And she's here talking about marketing and, again, trying to help increase that profitability at your aesthetic practice, at your med spa, wherever you are. She can help, focusing on financials, operations, and leadership. Thank you, Erin.
Thank you. I love that. And yes, you can find us on all the socials at the Spa Business Coach on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and our website is thespabusinesscoach.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right.
You are very welcome.
So, what other aspects of marketing should we be aware of that some of our business owners out there might not even be aware the importance of it and the other things we should be doing?
Well, here's an interesting one. You mentioned at the top of the call 17 weeks until
I,
Christmas, right? Can you believe it?
I can't.
And so, one of the other things that now that summer's wrapped up, and I know it feels too early, but I promise you it
Yeah.
isn't, is planning for the 2024 holiday season because there's a couple big events that happen, right? We've got Thanksgiving. Black Friday is a huge one for people purchasing products and purchasing packages. And then we've got those holidays inside December that are huge gift giving holidays, right? And so you want to think about that now.
Yeah.
Because you have to think about, okay, I have to call my suppliers. Are there specialty limited editions that maybe I want to make sure I have secured for my location for my clients? So you want to
Hmm.
put, I always like to do a work back schedule, right? If it needs to be sold by a certain
Okay.
time, then I need to figure out, okay, how long is the lead time? How much do I need to order it? What were my sales from last year? So I know I have enough product that I won't have people asking me for product that I don't have, right? Getting sold out, which sounds like a good thing, but it's always the worst if you own a business and something that you're selling sells out because then you have to say no to other sales. So having that in the back of your mind, I think as we go into fall, thinking about revisiting what worked last year for you inside of your business, what marketing really worked, how many packages you sold, or whatever highlight, and don't reinvent the wheel. Redo that same one, update it for this year, and put it back out there. But think about some of those bigger holidays. Black Friday is a huge one. I think in any industry, but definitely for us, that is a big one that sometimes requires a lot of planning, especially if you have
Hmm.
e-commerce. A lot of those products need to be uploaded. You have to get your web developer and web designers in on understanding what products need updating, what has to be added to the menu of items, and if you're offering any bespoke services for the holiday season. So, getting all of that updated and on there. It takes a long time to get these things together. So, thinking about it now, starting that planning process, reaching out to your vendors and suppliers to make sure you have what you need so that you don't have to say no to sales when people are trying to give you money for something that you don't have to say no.
Got it. I love that. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. And congratulations, by the way. You said you're in your new office. For those of you who may not be on the Zoom, I get to see her. Wait, where's the new office?
So, yeah, I just switched offices, leaving a condo, moving into a home, and so we just made that.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. So we made that move over the weekend. So we're still kind of sorting it all out, but yeah, getting used to a new environment. But also, I think it's important, in business, right? You got to figure out ways to be adaptable. You just have to make
Hmm.
it work, and as long as the client experience doesn't get affected, you should be okay.
Got it. Yay. All right. So what are some of the things, that, other business owners listening today, they should start doing? Well, they need to hire someone like you first and foremost, right? Um, but
Absolutely.
besides the social media, are you also coming up with the strategies for each like spa, like the promotions itself, or they give you the feedback? Because every region's different, right? So if you're in New York City, a client there compared to a little, tiny town in Ohio, I mean, the price points will be different and all, right? So how do you work with that owner to get, what their spa is all about? How does that whole process work?
Yeah, so we work two different ways. We do one-to-one coaching, but in our Spa Profits Academy program, we do live calls with our group every single week where you can
Okay,
have all of those things
got it.
answered. And what we do is we keep a calendar of different ideas that we will be running specific calls on, like marketing, how to launch, how to price properly so that we don't just give the strategy. So we may have talked about this before. We don't just give over the strategy, which is like kind of like the teacher giving the student all the answers. The student doesn't learn. And so what we do through our coaching, through our platform, and on our live weekly calls in our group program is we really guide them to understand what you have to do to come up with a proper strategy, to understand your pricing, to know how to price well and what factors are involved there. So we don't necessarily just give over. We're definitely here
Yeah.
to give advice and guidance, but more importantly, it's to really teach you, how do I put a strategy together? How do I know if my place in New York City is priced correctly versus maybe you have a second location in a different state?
Yeah.
So that's how we do it, is we really guide you through really understanding those fundamentals and running that part of your business, so that when or if you are done working with us, you now have that skill set and you feel equipped, whether you are in a market like New York or you move to a different market, so that you can be adaptable.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right. And don't forget, go to the website, thespabusinesscoach.com. If you are just tuning in, Erin MacNeil here joining us again live on today's show. Always got to promote, because you never know when people are tuning in, tuning off. So they're like, they hear us like yapping, yipping, yipping. And then it's like, well, who's this? It's our spa
Yes.
queen. Yay.
Yes, thank you. And one last thing I wanted to point out for the season is, as we, again, I mentioned that the summer for most beauty or aesthetic practices, they're a bit slower than normal. This season, right exactly where we are right now, when we look to September, I think another thing that's super important to focus on is client retention. All the clients that you didn't see for the last 2 or 3 months over the summer, maybe they went away on vacation or they were camping, they were at a cottage, they just decided that like they're taking a break for whatever reason. Maybe you haven't
Okay.
seen them for a couple months. Focus in on your client retention. Reach back out to those clients that have not come back over the last few months. You could be call calling them depending on demographic, right? Some
Gotcha.
clients like or prefer the call, reaching out through text, reaching out through emails, specifically just to those ones that are a typical
Maybe. Yep.
returning client, but maybe you
Hmm.
haven't seen them for a few months. So focusing in on maybe you could do a loyalty program, or you do a preferred pricing launch, or something that makes them feel warm and fuzzy, like they have missed you and you've missed them, and you want to give them some kind of incentive to come back in.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait. Those little mixer, little cocktail parties with the sweepstakes and the
Yes.
raffles. That always gets me. I think I
Yes.
told you that last time. Yeah. I love those. You come down, there's some champagne, there's some little hors d'oeuvres, and it's like, and I love those little raffle pins, and they roll the wheel and you put your little thing in. Hey, you win, free 6 pack of, 6 lasers. And I'm like, hey, or a
Yes.
facial.
It's the time. So definitely, if you don't have that on your book, September,
Yep.
October, and up to about mid-November is probably the best time to have an event to host. And again, even if you're not a brand new business, you could do a client appreciation night, an open house night,
That's it.
a
Yeah.
night of knowledge, right? Where maybe you bring in your vendors and they're teaching your clientele a little bit about a new product or a different combination service. So much like you, I love those mixers too, so that you can kind of get familiar with what's latest, greatest that they offer, take advantage of some kind of specialty
Yeah.
program or package. And maybe they're also having a sell off. So, this is a really great time as well that you sell off inventory that will maybe expire in early next year. So, it's a really good time to get it off your shelf so you can make room for everything that you're going to promote in November and December in that thicker holiday season.
Ooh, I love it. Thank you. You're getting me
Yes.
excited for the holidays. And now this is your busy season, right? So no more vacationing for you, right? Where were you? Weren't you away a few weeks ago? Where were you? We talked to you
I
from where?
was
Was it Florida?
Florida.
Yeah. Okay. I'm like, I remember
Yes.
the beach and the balcony.
I am squeezing in one more vacation, a proper vacation to Europe before we really get into the thick of it, before the start of Q4. So, conference season for us in the beauty world starts back up in September. So, we've got a conference coming up in Dallas that we'll be at, and I'll be doing a speaking engagement. So, if you are attending, it's Aesthetic Next. It's in Dallas. So, we'll be there.
Great.
But aside from that, I will take one more vacation and then we're full throttle probably until spring of next year.
All right. Where in Europe? I'm just curious.
Spain.
Wow. Like a 7-day
Yes.
trip or longer?
A 2-week trip. Yes.
My gosh, I've never been there. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Awesome.
Oh,
Good for you.
I've
Enjoy
not
it.
been either. It should be pretty phenomenal. I've done Italy for 2 weeks, and that was fantastic. So
Mhm.
I'm dying to get back over there.
Amazing. Well, how did you want to leave off for everyone today about you and about why they need to call you?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we have a signature 8-week program.
Yep.
So if you are a med spa, an aesthetic practice owner, an injector, or you have a day spa and you're really feeling stuck, you're feeling overwhelmed because you have all of these things to do, but you don't know where to start, or you don't know where to start, and you feel like you've
Yep.
got a lot of mountain to climb. You can reach out to us again. We're on all of the socials at the Spa Business Coach. You can book a discovery call. It's completely complimentary. You can book that with me through my website, thespabusinesscoach.com. Our 8-week signature program is going to get you really set up to learn how to close more sales, close consultations, understand some of your numbers so that as you learn to sell more, you can also track and measure so that you can have that repeatable success. Stop feeling like a fraud running your business, right? Get rid of that
Mm-hmm.
imposter syndrome and really start feeling like you understand some business fundamentals. We're here to support you to do that.
Beautiful. And how can we reach you?
You can reach us on all the socials at the Spa Business Coach on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, or you can book with us through our website at thespabusinesscoach.com.
Beautiful. Thanks so much. Always a pleasure having you here. Are we back next week or are you away?
We are back next week one more time.
Yay. All right, good. Can't wait. Have a great day, sweetheart. Thank you again.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.